In this segment, we're going to talk about front end data management and being a good steward of your data. And when I talk about front end management, I'm really talking about having continuous identifiers across multiple hardware platforms. I've seen a lot of people collect data from heart rate variability, GPS, velocity based training, wellness questionnaire data, and all the data that we're collecting as coaches seems to be increasing. That's okay, but what's happening that I've seen is when you go to do any type of backend analysis, you don't have the same identifier across hardware platforms, and that makes it really cumbersome to do any type of data marrying of different hardware sources because we don't have the same identifier. So, for example, if I've got Ethan Owens on my team and he wears a GPS device, and in that system, he's capital E and capital O in his first and last name, but in another hardware device, like say my heart rate device, he's Ethan Owens and it's all lowercase. When I go to try and marry up those data sources for any type of analysis, they're basically their own unique person within the hardware system. So when I marry them up, they don't match together those data sources. The same thing happens if you have, let's say, heart rate and GPS, and you do different naming conventions within those systems for your session data. So, for example, in my GPS, if I have warm up as capital W and capital U, but in my warm up in my heart rate system, I have it all lowercase. When I go to, let's say, compare my warm ups across training camp data, then I'm going to have a bunch of different sessions because I'm not marrying up those data sources with the same naming convention. So you want to make sure that when you're doing any type of analysis on the back end, you put a lot more work on the front end and making sure that your data is managed well. And that includes naming conventions within your session data and your naming conventions amongst your players and your apostrophes and your punctuation. Again, this will help with making sure that your backend analysis doesn't require you to spend as much time cleaning your data, and you can spend more time analyzing your data and making sure that whatever the data is telling you, you are being able to glean your insights out of that instead of cleaning your data.
To get your weekly dose of applied sports science updates, go to CoachMePlus.com and subscribe to our weekly newsletter. That's CoachMePlus.com.